Welcome to the first section of our presentation on advanced Claude code and AI agents. Here, we'll explore how you can build powerful applications, automate tasks, create intelligent AI agents, and develop streamlined workflows tailored for developers. Additionally, we'll cover how to leverage these tools to enhance freelance services, making your projects more efficient and impactful. Let's dive in and see how Claude Code can transform your development process and open up new opportunities. Welcome to the course, Advanced Claude Code and AI Agents. In this program, you'll learn how to build powerful applications, automations, and developer workflows using cutting-edge AI technologies. Our focus is on practical, expert-level coding systems that you can apply directly to real projects. Throughout the course, we'll emphasize real workflows and real delivery, ensuring you gain skills that make a tangible impact. Let's dive in and start exploring how to harness advanced AI in your development work. This course is designed for a diverse group of people who want to deepen their understanding of advanced Claude code and AI agents. Whether you're a developer or a programmer, this course will provide you with valuable skills to enhance your projects. If you're a tech learner or student, this content will give you practical knowledge to build on your foundation. Automation builders will find this course especially useful for creating more efficient and sophisticated workflows. Freelancers and agency owners can leverage these techniques to offer cutting-edge solutions to their clients. Finally, content creators who use AI workflows will gain insights to optimize their processes and produce better results. Overall, this course is tailored for anyone looking to work more effectively with advanced AI technologies. Here's what you can expect to build throughout this course. First, you'll create an AI coding workspace, which will be your foundation for developing and testing AI-driven projects. Next, we'll dive into building a mini-app workflow, helping you understand how to structure small-scale applications effectively. Then, we'll explore creating a developer automation system. This will help you automate repetitive tasks and boost your productivity. After that, you'll work on a multi-agent workflow blueprint, where you'll design systems with multiple AI agents collaborating seamlessly. Finally, we'll wrap up by assembling a freelance or business service package, preparing you to offer your AI solutions in a professional context. This roadmap is designed to take you from foundational concepts all the way to advanced applications with Claude Code and AI agents. Let me walk you through how to get the most out of this course. First, I recommend watching the lessons with your terminal open. This hands-on approach helps you follow along in real time. Next, practice every workflow we cover. Repetition is key to mastering these concepts. Keep a test repository ready to try out the code and experiment without any pressure. Also, make sure to save your prompts and templates as you progress. They'll be valuable reference tools. Finally, build your final project step by step, applying what you've learned along the way. This methodical approach will solidify your understanding and ensure you're ready to use advanced Claude code and AI agents confidently. Claude Code is much more than just a chatbot. It operates directly within developer environments, which means it integrates seamlessly into the tools you're already using. It has the ability to read and understand entire project files, giving it a comprehensive view of your code base. This allows it to assist with repository-level tasks, making it a powerful helper beyond simple code snippets. Claude Code supports key stages of development, including planning, editing, debugging, and testing, providing valuable assistance throughout the software lifecycle. What really sets Claude Code apart is its deep contextual understanding and its ability to work at scale within your projects. This makes it a unique AI tool designed specifically with developers' needs in mind. This slide focuses on the terminal-first workflow, which is designed specifically for command line usage. This approach is incredibly useful for real developer tasks because it integrates smoothly with tools that developers already use, like Git, files, and scripts. One of the biggest advantages here is that it helps reduce context switching, allowing developers to stay focused and efficient. Additionally, this workflow leverages advanced Claude code and AI agents to further enhance productivity. Overall, the terminal-first workflow creates a seamless and powerful environment for development. In this slide, we focus on developing a repo-level understanding, which is crucial when working with complex projects. This means being able to grasp the overall project structure, not just individual files. It involves reading multiple files to see how they connect and interact. By doing this, we can identify relationships between different parts of the code base, which in turn helps us explain the architecture and flow of the project more clearly. This kind of understanding is essential for advanced tools like Claude Code and AI agents, which rely on a holistic view to provide effective assistance. Let's dive into the agentic coding approach, which emphasizes a disciplined flow from understanding the context all the way to verifying the change. First, it's crucial to truly understand the goal. This means starting with the real objective behind a request, not just the surface level code change. Next, before making any modifications, thoroughly inspect the code base. This includes reading the structure, reviewing files, and understanding dependencies to get the full picture. After that, plan the change carefully by defining the scope, identifying potential risks, and choosing the safest path forward. Then, proceed to modify the code thoughtfully, making controlled edits and building in review points to ensure quality. Finally, test and verify the changes by confirming that the behavior matches expectations, validating the quality, and reviewing the final differences. This structured process helps ensure that every code change is well informed, safe, and effective. Now let's talk about the practical use cases. First, you can use AI agents to build new features, which helps accelerate development and innovate faster. Second, they can assist in fixing bugs by identifying issues and suggesting solutions, improving code quality. Third, refactoring code becomes easier, helping maintain cleaner, more efficient code bases. Fourth, AI can generate tests, ensuring better coverage and reliability. Fifth, it can help create documentation, making it easier for teams to understand and maintain the software. Finally, AI can automate repetitive developer tasks, freeing up time for more complex and creative work. These applications highlight how advanced Claude Code and AI agents can significantly enhance software development workflows. In this lecture, we'll focus on setting up your workspace for advanced Claude Code and AI agents. To get started, there are a few essential tools you'll need. First, ensure you have access to Claude itself, which is central to the setup. Next, we'll walk through the process of setting up Claude Code so you're ready to write and run your programs. You'll also need a terminal or command line interface for running commands efficiently. A good code editor is important too. I recommend using Visual Studio Code for its versatility and features. Additionally, having a Git and GitHub account is crucial for version control and collaboration. Finally, we'll use a test project repository to practice and apply what you learn. This section is all about getting these elements in place so you can work smoothly and effectively with advanced Claude Code and AI agents. Let's talk about setting up your workspace in the terminal, which is a crucial first step for working efficiently with Claude Code and AI agents. First, check your working directory to ensure you're in the right place. This helps you avoid confusion when running commands and managing files. Next, it's important to learn some basic terminal commands so you can navigate and operate your environment confidently. You'll also want to confirm that the necessary runtimes like Node or Python, depending on your project, are installed and properly configured. Keeping your terminal output readable is another key practice, as it allows you to quickly identify errors or important information without getting overwhelmed by clutter. Finally, never run commands blindly. Always understand what a command does before executing it, to avoid unintended consequences or security risks. Following these steps will help you maintain a smooth and safe workflow as you work with advanced Claude Code and AI agents. Now let's talk about setting up your workspace effectively. First, open your project folder right away. This helps you stay organized and access everything you need quickly. Next, keep the File Explorer visible at all times. It makes navigating your files much smoother and saves time. Third, use the built-in terminal within your code editor instead of switching between windows. This keeps your workflow seamless. Fourth, make a habit to review diffs before saving any changes. This way, you catch mistakes early and maintain code quality. Finally, use extensions sparingly and only when they truly add value to your workflow. Overloading your editor can slow things down, so be selective. These simple steps will create a workspace that's both efficient and tailored to your coding style. Let's talk about setting up your workspace for effective practice. First, it's important to prepare a practice repository. Start with a small but real project. This helps keep things manageable while still being practical. Make sure your project includes either front-end or back-end files, depending on what you're focusing on. Next, add a README file. This is essential because it documents your project's purpose and setup instructions, making your repository more organized and professional. Then, initialize Git in your repository. This allows you to track changes and manage your work efficiently. Finally, create a safe practice branch within your repo. This way, you can experiment and try new things without affecting the main code base. This setup ensures you have a controlled and effective environment to build your skills. Now let's review the first setup checklist for our advanced Claude code and AI agents. It's important to ensure that Claude code is properly installed on your system. Once that's done, verify that your terminal is working smoothly, as this will be essential for running commands efficiently. Next, confirm that your code editor is ready to use, allowing for seamless coding and editing. Don't forget to initialize Git in your project directory to manage version control effectively. Then, open your practice repository to have a working environment for your exercises. Finally, make sure to create a backup or a new branch. This step is crucial to safeguard your work and experiment without risking your main code base. Following these steps sets a solid foundation for the more advanced topics we'll cover. When we talk about agentic coding, we're referring to how AI tackles tasks through a dynamic workflow rather than a simple one-off prompt and response. Instead of just giving an answer, the AI reads the context carefully before making any changes to the code. It doesn't stop there. It actively plans its next steps, edits the code, runs tests, and continuously improves the solution. This iterative process helps the AI deliver more refined and accurate results. So, agentic coding is really about the AI acting like an intelligent agent, managing and evolving its work step by step. On this slide, we're distinguishing between two key concepts: the assistant and the agent. An assistant is designed to respond to a prompt, answer your questions, and provide short context or explanations to help you understand specific information. Essentially, it's reactive and focused on delivering information based on your input. On the other hand, an agent takes a more active role. It moves a task forward by working through a project's context, performing actions, and verifying outcomes. Agents are more autonomous, handling workflows and ensuring task progress without constant user input. Understanding this difference is crucial for grasping how advanced AI systems like Claude can be leveraged effectively, whether you need quick information or a tool that actively manages complex tasks. Now, let's dive into the professional workflow, which is crucial for managing projects efficiently. The first step is to clearly define the task. This means understanding exactly what needs to be accomplished before moving forward. Next, we inspect the project thoroughly to identify any potential challenges or requirements. Once we have a good grasp of the situation, we plan the change carefully, outlining how we'll implement the necessary adjustments. After planning, it's important to make small edits rather than large-scale changes all at once. This approach helps minimize errors and allows for easier troubleshooting. Finally, we test and review everything to ensure the changes meet our goals and function properly. Following these steps helps maintain quality and control throughout the process. Planning is crucial for several reasons, and I want to highlight 5 key benefits. First, it helps reduce wrong edits. By planning ahead, we minimize mistakes that can cause delays or require rework. Second, planning makes large tasks more manageable. Breaking down complex work into smaller, structured steps keeps the process organized and less overwhelming. Third, it helps identify risks early. Recognizing potential challenges up front allows us to prepare and mitigate issues before they become bigger problems. Fourth, planning improves code quality by ensuring thoughtful design and implementation rather than rush coding. Finally, it makes code review easier. When the code is well planned, reviewers can understand the logic more clearly and provide better feedback, leading to a stronger end product. Here, we're looking at the agentic coding mindset, which emphasizes human-in-the-loop control throughout the development process. This approach ensures that you maintain oversight and responsibility at every step. First, you approve the overall direction, setting the course for the work to come. Then, you review the specific commands being executed, making sure they align with your goals. Next, you inspect any changes made to the files, confirming that everything is as expected. After that, you test the results thoroughly to verify that the outcome meets your standards. Throughout this process, you remain responsible for decisions and outcomes, reinforcing the collaborative nature between advanced AI agents like Claude and your expertise as a developer. This framework balances the power of AI with the critical judgment of a human coder. In this slide, we're focusing on why strong instructions are essential when working with AI. First, AI really relies on clear project rules to function correctly. Without these rules, the outcome can be inconsistent or off target. Next, maintaining a consistent style throughout the project helps ensure the AI's output aligns with your brand or message. Safety rules are critical as well. They help minimize errors and prevent unintended consequences. When instructions are well crafted, the AI produces much better results, which saves us time and effort in revisions. Finally, creating reusable instructions can be a real time saver, allowing you to apply effective guidelines across multiple projects without starting from scratch each time. Altogether, these points emphasize the importance of strong, clear, and consistent instructions for successful AI-driven work. Here, we're focusing on the concept of Claude memory, which is essentially a way to embed persistent project instructions directly into the system. By turning project rules into ongoing guidance, Claude can refer back to these instructions whenever it plans or makes edits. This ensures consistency and adherence to project standards throughout the development process. Key elements include using project-level guidance, clearly explaining the technology stack, setting coding standards, defining test requirements, and establishing do not change rules to protect critical parts of the code. This approach helps maintain quality and alignment across the entire project, especially when working with advanced Claude code and AI agents. On this slide, we're looking at the key components covered in Lecture 5, which focuses on Claude code instructions. The main areas we'll explore include example instruction categories, which help us understand the types of commands Claude can interpret. We'll also go over the project overview to get a big picture understanding of how everything ties together. Next, we'll examine the folder structure to see how the code is organized, making it easier to navigate and maintain. Coding style is another important point, as consistent style improves readability and collaboration. Testing rules ensure our code works as expected and helps catch errors early. Security rules are critical to protect the system from vulnerabilities. Lastly, documentation rules guide us in creating clear, helpful information for current and future users or developers. All these topics are essential for mastering advanced Claude code and AI agents, which we'll delve into further in the following slides. When creating instructions, it's crucial to be as clear and specific as possible. A weak instruction like improve this project is too vague. It gives no indication of the scope, lacks any approval process, and doesn't define what success looks like. On the other hand, a strong instruction would be something like review the auth module, find bugs, propose a plan, but don't edit any files until I approve. This example clearly defines the scope, specifies the exact actions to take, and sets a controlled approval step before any changes are made. By creating strong, detailed instructions, we ensure everyone understands their tasks and the expected outcomes, leading to better results and smoother workflows. In this slide, we focus on the key components of Claude code instructions using a reusable instruction template. The first important element is defining the project goal, which sets a clear objective for what we want to achieve. Next, the tech stack outlines the specific technologies and tools involved, ensuring everyone is aligned on the resources and platforms to be used. Coding rules come next, which are essential for maintaining consistency, readability, and best practices across the codebase. Testing expectations define how the code should be verified to function correctly and reliably before it's considered complete. Security limits highlight what boundaries must be respected to protect data and maintain integrity. The output format specifies how the results should be delivered, making it easier to integrate or review. Finally, the approval requirement sets the criteria or authority needed to sign off on the work before moving forward. Overall, giving Claude these rules up front allows for a more organized process, safer editing, and more predictable results when working with advanced Claude code and AI agents. The terminal is a powerful tool, but with that power comes risk. First, terminal commands can directly change files, which means a single command can alter your system or project in significant ways. Some commands have the potential to delete data, sometimes irreversibly, so it's crucial to be cautious with what you execute. Additionally, certain commands might inadvertently expose sensitive information or secrets, which could compromise security. There's also the risk of installing unsafe packages that could introduce vulnerabilities or malicious code into your environment. Understanding these risks is the foundation of a safe terminal workflow. By being aware of the terminal's power and its potential dangers, we can better harness its capabilities while minimizing harm. On this slide, we're focusing on the safe terminal workflow, particularly when dealing with commands that require extra caution. These commands fall into several categories: delete commands, force commands, global installs, permission changes, database commands, and deployment commands. Each of these carries a high risk because they can significantly impact your system or environment. Before running any of these commands, it's crucial to review their potential impact and how easily you can reverse any changes. Also, consider the environment you're working in, whether it's development, staging, or production, since mistakes in production environment can be far more serious. By understanding and respecting these categories and taking the time to assess each command carefully, you minimize the risk of unintended consequences. This disciplined approach is essential, especially when working with advanced AI agents like Claude, which can execute commands automatically. Always keep safety and reversibility in mind to maintain control and stability. In this part of the lecture, we're focusing on the safe command review pattern, which is all about making sure we handle commands carefully to avoid unintended consequences. Before running any command, ask yourself a few crucial questions. First, what exactly does this command do? Understanding the command's purpose is essential to avoid surprises. Next, consider which files will be affected by the command. This helps prevent accidental changes to important data. Then, ask if the command can be reversed. Knowing if you have an undo option provides a safety net if something goes wrong. Also, check whether the command is needed right now. Sometimes waiting or reconsidering can save you from unnecessary risks. Finally, think about whether there's a safer alternative to achieve the same goal. Following these steps helps maintain control and security when working with commands, especially in advanced coding and AI agent contexts. Here, we're focusing on a safe workflow that emphasizes using Git as a safety net during development. The first step is to create a branch before making changes, which isolates your work and protects the main code base. Next, commit your changes before any major modifications. This creates restore points that you can return to if something goes wrong. Always review the differences in code after your edits, so you understand exactly what has changed. If needed, don't hesitate to revert to a previous state to maintain stability. One critical principle is to never work unprotected directly on production. Always use branches and proper version control. Remember, while speed is important, recovery matters even more. Treat every AI-assisted edit as professional code work. Make sure it is traceable, reviewable, and reversible to ensure high quality and safety throughout your workflow. Now, let's focus on the safe workflow checklist, which is essential for maintaining safety and accuracy in our work. First, always work on a separate branch. This helps isolate your changes and prevents unexpected disruptions to the main code base. Next, before making any changes, ask for a clear plan. Understanding the objectives and the steps involved reduces errors and confusion. Then, review the commands carefully before executing them to ensure you're making the right changes. After making edits, approve them thoughtfully. Don't rush through this step. It's critical to catch potential issues early. Running tests is another key step. Thorough testing validates that your changes work as intended without introducing new problems. Finally, review the final diff or the difference between versions to confirm all changes are accurate and nothing important was overlooked. Following this checklist helps maintain a safe and efficient workflow in advanced Claude code and AI agent development. Before diving into editing a repository, it's crucial to analyze it thoroughly. First, understanding the structure helps us navigate the project efficiently and see how different parts fit together. Second, analyzing prevents us from making wrong assumptions, which can lead to costly mistakes. Third, it allows us to find the right files quickly, saving time and effort. Fourth, by detecting dependencies, we ensure that changes we make won't break other parts of the system. Finally, this process helps reduce unnecessary changes, keeping the code base clean and maintainable. All these steps are essential for smooth, effective development. Here, we have the first repository analysis prompt. Our task is to analyze this repository by breaking down several key elements. We'll start by explaining the overall purpose of the project, what problem it aims to solve, or what functionality it provides. Next, we'll look at the main folders to understand the structure and organization of the code base. We'll then dive into the key files, identifying those that are central to how the application works. Following that, we'll examine the technology stack being used, including programming languages, frameworks, and any noteworthy libraries or tools. Finally, we'll discuss how the application likely runs based on the structure and components present, without making any direct edits to the files themselves. This comprehensive analysis will give us a clear understanding of the repository and its workings without altering the original code. Here, we're focusing on repo analysis, which is essential for understanding the structure and functionality of our code base. The first step is to ask for an architecture map. This gives us a clear overview of how everything is organized and interrelated. Next, we identify entry points in the application. These are the places where the user or external systems interact with our software. Following that, we look at the main modules, which are core building blocks that encapsulate specific functionality. Then we analyze the data flow, observing how data moves through the system from input to processing and finally to output. Understanding this helps us spot potential bottlenecks or areas for optimization. After data flow, we examine the API routes. These define how different parts of the system communicate with each other or with external clients. Next, we focus on UI components, which are the visible parts of the application interfacing directly with users. Finally, we review configuration files, which contain settings that control the behavior of the application in various environments. All these steps combined allow us to thoroughly analyze the repository, especially when dealing with advanced Claude code and AI agents, ensuring we have a solid grasp of the system's inner workings. When identifying risk areas in a code repository, it's crucial to focus on the patterns that tend to cause the most problems down the line. A strong repo review should highlight these, helping us catch potential bugs, security vulnerabilities, and avoid costly rework early on. Some of the top risk factors include outdated dependencies, which can introduce compatibility or security issues, missing tests, which mean less coverage and higher chances of undetected errors, and hard-coded secrets, which pose serious security risks by exposing sensitive information. Duplicate logic is another red flag, as it can lead to inconsistencies and maintenance headaches. Weak error handling may cause the application to fail silently or unpredictably, and poor documentation makes it harder for teams to understand and safely modify the code. By systematically reviewing for these issues, we can maintain healthier, more secure, and more maintainable projects. Here, we outline the output format for the repository analysis. First, we start with concise project summary to give a clear overview of the project scope and objectives. Next, the folder map provides a visual structure of the repository's organization, helping us quickly locate important sections. Then, we highlight the key files that are critical for understanding the core functionality or components of the project. After that, we identify potential risk areas, which might include outdated dependencies, security vulnerabilities, or complicated code sections that need attention. Finally, we suggest recommended next steps, helping guide future actions to improve or further develop the project. This structured approach ensures a comprehensive and clear analysis, making it easier to make informed decisions. In this slide, we're focusing on why just having an idea isn't enough when working with AI development. First, the statement build a dashboard is too broad. It doesn't give enough detail for someone to act on effectively. AI development requires a clear scope so that the project is manageable and focused. Developers need specific acceptance criteria, which are clear conditions that define when a task is complete and successful. This clarity helps reduce rework, because when tasks are well defined, there's less confusion and fewer misunderstandings. Ultimately, turning a vague idea into a precise, developer-ready task before asking Claude Code to build it is a core principle to improve outcomes and efficiency. Clear, actionable tasks lead to better results and smoother AI project execution. Here, we're looking at the user story format, which is a simple but powerful way to capture what the user needs and why. It follows a structure. As a user, I want feature so that benefit. This format keeps the focus on the user's perspective and the value they gain from the feature. For example, an admin might say, as an admin, I want to filter users by status so that I can manage accounts faster. This clearly states who needs a feature, what the feature is, and the benefit it provides, making account management more efficient. Using this format helps teams understand the purpose behind each feature and prioritize development accordingly. It also makes communication clearer across different roles, from developers to stakeholders. Ultimately, it ensures we're building solutions that genuinely address user needs. Acceptance criteria are crucial for defining success in any developer task. They clearly specify what must happen and what must not happen, ensuring that both the expected outcomes and boundaries are well understood. We also need to consider edge cases, that is, unusual or extreme scenarios that might impact performance. Error behavior is another critical aspect. The system's response to errors should be predictable and well handled. Finally, expectations around the user interface or API need to be clearly stated to avoid any ambiguity. By having clear acceptance criteria, a broad request becomes a specific, reviewable deliverable, significantly improving task quality and overall project clarity. Now, let's talk about turning ideas into developer tasks. This step is crucial because it bridges the gap between concepts and actual implementation. When defining these tasks, it's important to set clear constraints and boundaries to keep the development process smooth and consistent. For example, we want to avoid changing the existing design. Maintaining the current look and feel is essential to ensure users aren't confused by unexpected changes. Similarly, renaming files is off limits because it can cause issues in version control and dependencies. Modifying the database schema is another no-go. Changing the structure of our data could lead to compatibility problems and data loss, so that's something we want to prevent unless absolutely necessary. Keeping backward compatibility is a must. This means any new code or feature should work seamlessly with existing systems, so nothing breaks for current users. And finally, always ask before making large changes. Communication is key here because big changes can have widespread impacts, and getting approval helps avoid surprises. These guidelines help us maintain stability while moving forward with new developments, especially when dealing with advanced Claude code and AI agents, ensuring both innovation and reliability. Now, let's take a closer look at the final developer task template, which is a crucial part of task design in our process. This template helps structure the work clearly and efficiently. First, we start with a goal, which defines the primary objective the developer needs to achieve. This sets the direction for the entire task. Next is a user story, which puts the task into context by explaining who the end user is and what they need from the feature or functionality being developed. This helps keep the development user-focused. Then we have the acceptance criteria. These are specific conditions that the completed task must meet for it to be considered done. They serve as a checklist to ensure quality and completeness. After that, the Files to Inspect section outlines which code files or components the developer needs to review or work on. This helps guide their focus and ensures they're looking in the right places. Constraints are also listed, detailing any limitations or rules that must be followed during development, such as performance requirements or technology restrictions. Testing requirements come next, specifying what tests must be conducted to validate the task. This might include unit tests, integration tests, or other forms of verification. Finally, the output format defines how the results should be presented or delivered, ensuring consistency and clarity in submissions. Together, These elements create a comprehensive and structured approach to defining developer tasks, making the development process more transparent and manageable. Here, we're focusing on the expert prompt patterns, specifically the plan first prompt. This approach emphasizes a structured workflow where you start by analyzing the code or problem thoroughly before making any changes. The key steps are to inspect the relevant code first, then approve the plan before proceeding with any edits. This method helps catch any incorrect assumptions early on, reducing the risk of errors and ensuring that the direction is clear before Claude or any AI interacts with the code base. The prompt example provided, asking for a step-by-step implementation plan before editing files, encapsulates the strategy perfectly. It keeps the editing process controlled, deliberate, and well-reviewed. Here, we're looking at the prompt pattern called the diff first prompt. The main idea behind this approach is to show the proposed changes as a diff or a summary before actually applying them. This is especially useful when file changes need to be reviewed first, providing an extra layer of control. By reviewing the changes beforehand, you can prevent unintentional edits from affecting production code, sensitive files, or important client work. This method adds a safeguard, ensuring that edits are carefully considered and approved before being implemented. It's an important practice for maintaining quality and security in advanced Claude code and AI agent workflows. Here, we're focusing on an expert prompt pattern called a test first prompt. The idea behind this approach is to keep the task measurable and organized by writing or updating the test before actually implementing the code. This not only reduces unnecessary changes, but also guides Claude code toward delivering the smallest valid implementation needed to pass those tests. By starting with tests, we ensure that development is efficient and focused, helping maintain clarity and precision throughout the coding process. This technique is particularly useful when working with advanced AI agents like Claude Code, allowing for a structured and effective workflow. Here we're looking at an expert prompt pattern called the explain before edit prompt. The idea is to have the AI, in this case Claude, first explain the root cause of an issue and outline the potential fix options before making any code changes. This approach is especially valuable when you're debugging or dealing with sensitive parts of your code base. By having Claude diagnose the problem and weigh the different solutions, you get a clearer understanding of the situation. Then, only once the safest and most effective editing path is identified, Claude recommends the actual code edits. This method reduces risks and helps ensure any changes are well-informed and precise. Here, we're focusing on the importance of a thorough review process. Once the initial edits are complete, it's a good practice to use Claude as a second reviewer. This extra step acts as an additional quality check, helping to ensure that the work is as polished and accurate as possible before final acceptance. Make sure to review the final changes carefully, looking out for any bugs, security issues, edge cases, or missing tests. These elements are crucial for maintaining the integrity and robustness of the project. By following this review pattern, you reduce the risk of overlooking critical problems and improve the overall quality of your output. Here we outline the main goal of this section, which revolves around the project itself. Our objective is to prepare a professional Claude Code workspace. This means setting up an environment that is not only safe, but also reusable for AI coding projects. The key deliverable from this effort will be a secure and reliable coding setup tailored for AI development. We'll provide everything needed for successful implementation, including a repository, detailed instructions, a checklist, and an initial analysis to get started confidently. This setup is designed as part of our advanced Claude Code and AI agents framework, aiming to streamline workflows and ensure consistency across projects. Overall, this foundation will help us work smarter and more efficiently with AI coding tasks. For step 1, you want to choose your practice repository. This is a foundational step where you decide what kind of project you'll work on to build your skills. You have several options to consider. You could go with a small web app, which is great if you want to practice both front-end and back-end development. Alternatively, you might pick an API project. This is perfect if you're interested in building and managing data services. Another choice is creating an automation script, which helps you automate repetitive tasks and improve your scripting abilities. You could also develop a portfolio website, which not only hones your web development skills, but also serves as a personal showcase of your work. Lastly, you might want to contribute to or build an open source practice repo, which gives you real world experience collaborating with others. Each option offers unique learning opportunities, so choose the one that best aligns with your goals and the skills you want to develop. Now let's focus on step 2, which is all about adding project instructions. This step is crucial because clear instructions set the foundation for successful project completion. You want to start by providing a comprehensive project overview, so everyone understands the goals and scope. Next, specify the tech stack you'll be using. This helps align everyone's tools and expectations. Then, outline any coding rules to maintain consistency and quality in the code base. Testing rules are equally important, ensuring that the project meets reliability and functionality standards. Don't forget to include safety limits to prevent any potential issues or misuse. Finally, clearly define the output format, so the end results are exactly what you need. Together, these detailed instructions help guide the team smoothly through project. Now we're focusing on step 3, which is running the first repository analysis. At this stage, we want to ask Claude to provide several key pieces of information to understand the project thoroughly. First, we need the project purpose, which will give us the overall goal and context of what the repository is meant to achieve. Next, we want a clear overview of the folder structure, so we know how the code and resources are organized. Identifying key files is crucial as well, because these are the components that drive the core functionality or need special attention. We also need instructions on how to run the project. This ensures that we can execute the code or application without issues and verify its behavior. Additionally, it's important to highlight any risks or areas that could be improved, so we have a clear understanding of potential problems and opportunities for optimization. Remember, the workspace setup happens here, and the key guideline is to inspect the repo thoroughly first before making any edits. Understanding the project well up front helps us make more informed and safer changes later on. This approach leverages advanced Claude code and AI agents for a smarter and more efficient analysis process. Here's a final submission checklist to make sure everything is in place before moving forward. First, ensure your practice repository is ready and that you create the appropriate Git branch for your work. Next, confirm that your project instructions are clearly written, providing a solid guide for anyone who might use or continue the project. Also, complete a thorough analysis of your repository to spot any issues or areas for improvement. Don't forget to save your safety checklist to maintain best practices and secure code standards. Lastly, select your next feature idea so you have a clear direction for the upcoming work. Once all these deliverables are completed, your section project setup will be fully ready, allowing you to dive into real build work in the next section with confidence. We've completed the foundation, and section 1 is officially done. Moving forward, in the next section, we'll dive into building real applications, developing features, writing tests, and creating documentation using Claude code. This next phase is where everything starts to come together practically, so get ready to apply what you've learned in a hands-on way.